G'day, team. Max bet time. Let's get right into it. Great racing on Saturday. I'll be tuning in from the National Park down south where I'm doing a 96K walk starting about 7:30 a.m. and finishing on Sunday, if I make it, at about, about 11 a.m. or something like that. So I'll have the old tranny radio out listening in on the radio. Let's get into it. I want to do two races today. I want to do Caulfield, the Underwood Stakes, and also the first over in the Wild West on Saturday, 1,000-metre race one. First off, we started a promo. Check out this ad, and then I'll come back to you. Wish I had those superpowers. So that's not just for the 8 days or the 8 meetings. That's for the whole, every meeting on that day. So Cox Plate every day, Bendigo Cup every meeting, Geelong Cup every meeting, the 4 days of Melbourne Cup, Derby Day, Cup, Oaks, and also the Stakes Day on the Saturday. Every meeting, Melbourne Cup, you get about 20 meetings, all starting at 10:30. So that's 8 days, biggest 8 days leading into the Cup. Every meeting on the day. Let's get right into Saturday and find a couple of max bets and also delve into these races a bit further. So the Underwood Stakes, Sir Delius, what a run first up Sir Delius was behind Lindemann in the Chelmsford. Had more merit. I want to get in and have a look at these ratings because what I've found really interesting, especially with these good horses, is comparing the acceleration ratings, comparing their last, on the other screen, I've got their last 200s and their overalls. But Sir Delius, second to Lindemann. I thought the run had a lot more merit than the clock even suggested. Let's go and have a look before I get into the TKZ screen. The reason why I thought it had more merit is because Sir Delius got trapped a little bit wide, had to go forward and didn't settle as well as it could have either. We'll get into the map as well after. So these are the ratings for Sir Delius. 102 first start in Australia. Remembering this horse ran 8th in an arc over 2,400 over in France. So 102, that's your class speed weight rating. That's just the time element of that class speed weight. So 102 and then 100. So 100 first up in an unsuitable distance of 1,600 was pretty good off a slow tempo. Did go out and sit second. Let's just have a look at... Let's have a look at this. This is what I love here. Look at this acceleration. C2, that's the last 200 metres. A 154 is very high. 154 is very high. And to me, over 2,000 metres, the last 600's 123. You don't see this that often. The last 600, 123, but the last 200, 154. Done a much higher last 200 rating than he has his last 600 rating. To me, that suggests he's going to get more distance than the 2,000 metres, and you know what that spells for me? Melbourne Cup. I did the Melbourne Cup episode 2 with Adam the Bird Sparrow yesterday. It'll be released next week, early next week or mid next week, which was a lot of fun. We spoke about Sir Delius, but I'm pretty confident about Sir Delius moving forward in the Cup. But I'm not going to bet early. I'm just going to wait. Too much can happen because he's going to have another 3 runs. Underwood. Not sure about the next one, but I know he's having one, and then he's going into a Cox Plate. So that's him. His figures look fantastic. That was on a heavy track. That was on a good track. The only thing he hasn't done so far here, I don't think it'll be a problem. He's put in a race with fast pace. Let's get back over to TKZ and have a look. Tim Clark actually didn't want to end up second. He was trying to get in, which I think Craig Williams will try and do on Saturday as well. Try and get in from that wide barrier, sort of midfield. I don't think he'll drop him right back, and I don't think he'll go forward. There's a few in this race with early speed. I thought Zardozi. I actually had Zardozi being able to lead in this race. I'm not saying he will, but I had Jamie Carr pushing forward into a more prominent position. Average sort of pace, Smoke and Romans, Desert Lightning all go forward. There's a couple others that go forward as well in this race. Golden Path can certainly go forward. And I think that Spoken Romans, Desert Lightning, Sir Delius can go forward as well if he wanted to, and Golden Path. But it's an average pace. I don't think it's going to be exceptional speed in this race, which I don't think suits Buckaroo, who I put in for third pick, Buckaroo. Let's just go and have a look at it because he's such an interesting horse to me, Buckaroo. When he produces, he's only won 2 from 17 in Australia. I think 5 from about 31 starts overall. But let's just that's Sir Delius's figures there. Let's have a look at Buckaroo's figures up the top there. So Buckaroo, this is his ratings here. So he did a 98. So you saw Sir Delius did 100. Buckaroo running third behind Treasure the Moment did a 98. But his peak ratings still lower, not much lower, 101.2. And winning this race last year did a 101. I think the winner's going to have to do a 102 here. So Buckaroo's going to have to go to a completely new level. But why I don't particularly like Buckaroo in this race is that his best races are run off fast tempos, as you can see there, as you can see there, as you can see, average there, but one. Fast did no good. But off these slow tempos, very slow, ran ninth. I'm not saying this is going to be very slow. Slow fifth, slow third, below average 5. So I think that it's going to be an average tempo, and all his wins, apart from this, which has only been 2. There's only been 2. But this Underwood, where he brained him, he won pretty easy. I'm surprised that rating's not higher. Looked like it was higher to the eye. Are off his best numbers are off fast tempos. He needs a fast tempo, and I'm worried about that being the case. Let's have a look at his last 600 figures compared to Sir Delius, and this is another reason why. Let's just have a look at that last 200. So I showed you Sir Delius did a 154. A 154 off about, let's just quickly have a look what the early tempo is because I love comparing these. So Sir Delius has done a 154 off what? Off an 88. So an 88, 123, 154, 88, 123, 154, and Buckaroo's never done a 154. He's done a 144 here, but he did a 144 and a faster last 600 of 150. But look how slow they went early. So if they're going a bit faster early, that's a big difference. Say 40 there compared to what Sir Delius did in the 80s. Big difference. So when Buckaroo went slower early, I know it's a while ago, but Buckaroo went slower early and did that last 200 in less. So if we get a race which is around about that 80, even that 97, much slower sectionals, 91 slower sectionals. So it just highlights how impressive Sir Delius was at his first Australian start. At his second Australian start, he did good figures as well, considering that he got trapped a bit wide early, considering it was first up and there's only improvement there because he's set for bigger races, and considering that the 1600 wasn't his ideal distance. I think he's much better suited at sort of 2000 to 2400. 1800 is probably a bit short, but in this field, I think that it's good enough to win this race. While we're here, let's have another look at, I'll go back over here. Moira, I want to talk about. Won a $4 million Breeders' Cup class 1 over in, or Group 1 over in the US. I don't know how strong that US form is. We're probably going to find out. Not that many horses. Asked on the Saturday set, the boys, and they were saying not that many horses had come over from the US. Now I can't really, remember anything coming and being outstanding over from the US. But Moira can improve, but Moira needs to improve. Let's go and have a look at Moira's ratings here. 87, 90, 94. So that's your time rating, 94. Slow, slow, slow. Moira's never been in an early and in a relatively fast early race. So going from 16, 14, 15. Well, this is don't forget about this run. That was in the Donny. So 14, 15, 18, slow. I don't think it'll be slow. I think it'll be average the tempo on Saturday, but can improve, will improve. I think definitely will improve, but will Moira improve enough to win the race? Because you can see how I'm saying 102 here. That's a big improvement. 8 rating points to win that race to catch up to Sir Delius. And if you have a look at those sectional figures here, very slow early, 67, 25 and 59. Came home, still isn't for the last 200 doing what Sir Delius did. So Sir Delius has got a better sprint than both Buckaroo and Moira. Let's get back over to the King Zone. Have a look. There it is there. Aniset's an interesting horse. Aniset actually raced Moira over in that race in that Breeders' Cup. And Moira, I think Aniset ran 8th. Moira won it and Aniset ran 8th. So you think Moira is a better horse than what Aniset is, but it doesn't always work out like that, especially when they've travelled from overseas. Aniset's a better price. I can see Aniset running a hole. Let's just go and have a quick look at the market. I took $2, about 220 to 230. Sir Delius yesterday has been well backed. I think Buckaroo will drift 5 into 440 back to 5. Ladbroke's leading the way at 550 with Boom Bet. Sir Delius, Ladbroke's leading the way at 205. Betfair a bit better at $2.12, which is after commissions around that 205 mark. Just on Betfair as well, they're running a special midweek, Monday to Friday, half price commission on Victorian racing. So that's a good one as well. If you're a Betfair punter, you are getting 50% off your commission on Victorian racing midweeks. So that's a good one as well. Save a bit of money. We need every dollar we can get our filthy little hands on. Moira being well backed, $7.50 into $5.50 with the tab. $7.50 into $5 with Ladbrokes as well. So that's suggesting to me that Moira is going to improve. D lane, barrier 4, going to sit a bit closer. Oh, I couldn't back Moira at that price. $7.50 could maybe save. Sir Delius, I think, is the horse. And you can see here, which is interesting, right? You can see here, Sir Delius doesn't feature. Sir Delius is third on the ratings, behind Zardozi, behind Middle Earth as well. Cam, Sir Delius second, behind Desert Lightning. We've got Land Legend in there for third. Form factors are strong. Race strength, there's not that much in the race strength I went through. They're all pretty level, but Sir Delius is going to, because of that Brisbane run's factored into it, the Chelmsford was obviously a pretty strong race. So I've got no query there. But what's interesting about this is you've got a horse at $2 that isn't ratings wise and metrics wise and everything through the roof. So why is Sir Delius so short? And the same applies for a horse like Private Harry or Briasa over in Sydney at Randwick. The reason being is expected improvement, and it's a thing that the market really factors in, and it's real expected improvement. And a lot of the time, it's especially if you're framing markets, it's the difference. Getting that part of the market right is the difference between your winning and losing. Expected improvement, because everyone knows what a horse has done, but not everyone knows what a horse is going to do. And class speed weight rating. So these are after that race strength and class and the weight of today's taken into consideration. So you can see there's Zardozi. Let's go and have a quick look at Zardozi. Zardozi's old ratings are great. When I talk about old ratings, I'm really talking about these ones here. 105, but first up, 85. Unsuitable, 1,500 going to 1,800. Zardozi's set for bigger things. I think we'll need the run. But certainly if you're a Zardozi fan, you want to see these numbers if you're backing a roughie. You want the horse to be able to win the race if it's right. I think Zardozi will still need the run second up. But what I like about Zardozi is Zardozi, if she puts it together, is capable of winning the race. Wouldn't surprise me. Zardozi comes out and wins. Will you just say, too good, too good. I saw it coming. Whereas some of these other horses don't. And Zardozi hasn't won a race for 15 races or 15 last 15 races, zero wins. So that's why Zardozi's 20-1. And that's why Sir Delius is $2. I'm not going to go through Cam for this race. I just want to talk quickly about the map with Sir Delius. So Sir Delius has the number one acceleration rating. What's Willow going to do from 10? He's got two options, really. He's got three options. The first one is to drop Sir Delius out the back. I still think Sir Delius could win if he did that. I wouldn't suggest doing that. I don't think he will do that. I think he'll try and get in about fifth, sixth, seventh. At Caulfield, I should have got the track map up and shown you, but at Caulfield, over 1,800 metres, there's a long run to the first turn. So he's going to have enough. He's going to have enough time to try and get in. If he got in sixth or seventh, one off, I think the race is pretty much over. The risk is that he gets trapped. I'm willing to take that risk that he gets trapped. You sort of don't often see horses getting trapped three wide and not being able to get in. If that happens, it's bad if he gets no cover. But I'm willing to take that risk. Let's just go through these factors quickly. Rank 1 acceleration. That's what I'm saying. If you can sit 6, bang, it's over. Upside factor, which we've talked about. Upside factor, if you see this, it usually means that the price is going to be shorter than you'd hoped and shorter than what you think it might be. Onwards and upwards to bigger things. Cox Plates, Melbourne Cup. Oozes class, ran 8th in an arc overseas, over in France, obviously. An improvement second up. So we went the ratings 102 back to 100. I'd expect Sir Delius to go to a 102 minimum here, unless bad luck. Unless bad luck is a factor. I mentioned on the Saturday set a lot of these horses I thought were non-winners. So we've got Buckaroo, who I priced $9, $5.50 market. Think it's unders. Going to go back. Barrier 7, going to go back. Needs a fast tempo. I'm set a predicted pace negative there at Caulfield. 2 wins from 17, so not a prolific winner. Did win this race last year, but it was off an extremely fast tempo. I'm going to overlook Smoke and Romans. Desert Lightning, interesting horse. Coming off, which we spoke about, coming off those 2 slow tempo races, now going to 1,800 metres for the first time in Australia. Let's have a look at Desert Lightning. Just go back and have a look at Desert Lightning's just pure time rating. So never rated 100. 1,600 has got form back here over over 24 and 2,100. One over 2,100. So I'm not thinking the 1,800 is going to be a problem. But what I am saying is the Desert Lightning's coming off these 2 slow tempo races and going to a new distance. I think is going to be a problem. And the other thing with the Desert is going to a new race strength. So a 95, a 94, and going to a 97, I think could pose a problem. If you have a look, which I like doing as well here, is having a look at these race strength numbers. So you can see these 2 97s, which are very similar, ran 8th and 10th. And this is a high-class race, obviously here in Eagle Farm, 99 race strength, and ran 4th as well. So Desert Lightning is a bit like the Cronulla Sharks, win the low, beat up on the flat track bully, beat up on the Titans and the Knights, but when the big boys come along, really struggle. As you can see here, Desert Lightning's won a couple of races, but when the pressure's on, will Desert Lightning be standing? I don't think so. $21 I've marked Desert Lightning is a chance because will race on pace, can run the journey based on that New Zealand form. And if it gets it really easy up front and the favourite has a bit of bad luck and Buckaroo's back in the pack, could be in the finish. I'm not saying can't win, but I'm just saying $13 is under the odds for mine. Casino 17, I'm going to overlook. Land Legend, 0 wins from last 7 starts. I just think Land Legend's getting warmed up, probably on a Cups tilt again, if good enough. Middle Earth's a really easy, interesting runner. Let's just have a quick look at Middle Earth's ratings, because he came out and won first start in Australia, rated 98, rated 100, which, if improved on these two, would be good enough to win this race. But then failed at Randwick over 2,000. First up, only rated 94 over 2,000 metres. So really is a couple of lengths off the pace and has to regain the old form. I've got marked longer, but $23. Watch out for this horse over spring. I think this horse has got a fair bit of ability and has good acceleration as well. I'd be settling closer from barrier 1. If I was Zara on Middle Earth, I'd be trying to sit 4th fence and giving the horse a chance off a slow tempo to sprint, and that's Middle Earth's chance of winning this race, I think. Golden Path, I don't like. $71, only 19. Struggles in this class is the main one there for Golden Path. I'd definitely be going forward on Golden Path in this race as well. Sir Delius, we've covered. Moira, we've covered. Zardozi, we've covered as well. Hasn't won in 15 starts and not at peak fitness, but off a lot of these metrics is good enough to win the race. Anisette I've talked about as well. 1,800 can improve. Going to get a long way back though, and could have to make up too much ground. But I think if you got around that $5 a place, I don't know what you can get, but I think anything $5 and above to run a hole is a good price. So I put my bet on early. I took two, average about $2.25. I feel like I'm getting a little bit ill, and I've got to walk 96 tomorrow. So if I'm not here on Monday for the grind, you know why. Hopefully I won't say that. Righto, let's move on. Let's move right on and get on our plane and get over to the west. Sandgroper territory, over to the Wild West, over to Belmont, to look at a race which I spoke about set up on the grind on Monday. I spoke about setup and how I like to rule horses out, and also be against horses in the race, which is a little bit like the Underwood there. I'm a little bit against Buckaroo and also Moira in a way as well. Not strongly against them, even though they're second and third pick, but I can find reasons why I don't like them. This is a really interesting race for me. So you've got a horse called Spicy Thang. I love the name. Let's go and have a look at the Thang over on this screen. Now, I'll just talk about this race first. So it's a 1,000-meter race. In 1,000-meter races, you want to be on speed. You don't want to be making up too much ground over 1,000 meters. Spicy Thang will go straight to the front. The second horse, Snitzelet, looks to have a lot of ability coming out of a group race, but he's first up. I can't find a trial. I can't find a jump out. I can't find anything on Snitzelet. I'm going to look at its form in a sec. Good as hell. First up as well. Has trialled, but I think needs longer. And then there's nothing really after that. There's another first upper here, whereas we've got the Spicy on a 7-day backup. We've got my second, third, and fourth picks all first up. So there's number one advantage. Number two advantage is Spicy Thang looks 1,000-meter horse to me. The others don't. Snitzelet. Let's just go and have a look at the Snitter. The Schnit raced over 1,400. I can't remember the name of this race, but it was a group race. It was a high-quality race. Let's just have a look at the race strength here of 84 and 82, going back to 79. So when I go to TKZ, you'll see well, let me just go there now rather than talking about it. Get there now. You'll see race. Yeah, this is what I'm looking at. Race strength. Snitzelet 84, Perfect Sister 80, and Spicy 75. Now this is interesting. So that's why Snitzelet's so short. Let's just have a quick look at the market, and you'll see Snitzelet is around that $2 mark, I think. I'm just trying to find Belmont here. Not sure when Belmont starts. There's race 2, then we'll get to race 1. Yeah, Snitzelet's about. I backed Spicy. I saw 750. I took around 650 and around 650 and $6. Or $6.50, $6. I gotta have more on too on Spicy. I can't really get on Belmont, so I got to put more on. But so Snitzelet was well back with tab 240 to 190, back to 195 and starting to ease back out. Spicy 750 looked the wrong odds, 650, 550 still looks good odds to me. And they haven't backed anything else. Gets really wide after that. I don't think they'll back anything else. They put up playing it sweet at $4. Seems very short price to me. I think it'll start a lot longer. I think it'll keep drifting. It's not a surprise to me this horse is drifting because I think that it needs longer. I think there's two hopes. I think Snitzelet and obviously Spicy Thang. But the thing about Snitzelet is I don't know what it's set for. So race over for 1400. Is it ready? That's the big question. Look at this Spicy race pressure. Average coming off a fast tempo where Spicy sat third. This is what's interesting. Spicy sat third off a fast tempo, but the reason we're getting such a big price about Spicy is because it's up in class. So this class or R-val here is a class, generic class number, 89 up to 93. My race strength, 79 to 79. So I'm saying this isn't really a harder race for Spicy, but fast tempo gets itself an easy lead here, which is crucial. Sat third at Northam over 1,000 metres. Now leads, 7-day backup, nice and fit. Racing horses that potentially need longer and potentially won't be ready first up. Oh, I love this bet. I'm going to have a real good crack at Spicy. I think the race strength's good enough. If Snitzelet's ready and 1,000 metres and primed, Snitzelet will probably win this race and get over the top of Spicy. But I'm willing to take the risk, especially at that price. I think one of those two horses will definitely win. Cam's good enough. Let's have a look at those form factors. You can see. Let's just have a look at the cruising because this is cruising over 1,000 meters. That's a class speed weight. So class speed weight we've got on the same 84 both. Cruising. Let's have a look. Spicy 90 from Perfect Sister, good as hell. Look at this plane at Sweet's going to be back probably. Good acceleration, but will we be able to see it over 1,000 meters? And Snitzelet probably fourth or sits sort of just off the pace, fourth or fifth. Playing it sweet. We went into that, got it marked $12, gets a long way back. First up, no trial. But I thought they had a trial. Someone else done that. But anyway, we'll keep going. We might have to change that one there. Not suited over 1,000 first up. I think I put that one in and it's wrong. Snitzer, ready first up, question mark. Is the Snit ready to go? Has Durant got this horse ready? From barrier 1 as well, is that where you want to be over 1,000 metres when you've got to get out? Because you're not going to get a big chance if you don't get out over 1,000 metres and get wound up. You don't get a lot of opportunity because these horses are motoring so fast. And hopefully, our Spicy, hopefully she's off and gone. Chantel's off and gone, claiming 3 as well. Chanel's claiming 3, 51 kilos with the claim for Chanel Cooper. I really think this is a strong bet for all those reasons there. Have a look at them. Make sure you win on Saturday because we need to win on Saturday. We will win on Saturday. We will stay in the game. We will stay in the zone. Go find your bookie and have a great day.
Think, is this a bet you really want to place? For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.